coverage you can count on.
Now, where you are seeing a major impact of all of this is in the stock market. Boeing stock has fallen dramatically. Well, here in St. Louis, we have a number of big businesses, and our business incubators are gaining national attention. Tried calling this Audio Express earlier, and the phone just rings and rings. The only explanation is a sign posted on the door that says this shop is permanently closed. Now, the same thing goes for the only other Missouri location. That one is in North St. Louis County. The scammer is telling folks to go buy these prepaid gift cards, and he's still on the phone, tells them to read that information, then take them over here to the courts building where they go to a kiosk and they can pay a fine for missing jury duty. The U.S. government may be in the market for new F-15s for the first time in decades. I reached out to the Granite City Housing Authority yesterday by phone, and when I didn't get a hold of them, I came here to their office. Can you imagine yourself behind the wheel of a big rig? Well, there's a big demand for drivers. According to the American Trucking Association, there's a shortage of roughly 50,000 truck drivers across the U.S. right now. Airport officials say Southwest is the only airline here right now that's operating these 737 MAXs, and all of those have already come and gone for today. Now, there was one flight that was supposed to connect to Tampa, and then after this announcement was made, all the passengers were put on another plane.
Issuing an emergency order of prohibition to ground all flights of the 737 MAX 8 and the 737 MAX 9 and planes associated with that line.
The U.S. adds itself to the list of countries and airlines temporarily grounding Boeing's 737 MAX planes as investigations continue after two MAX 8 planes crash within 5 months, killing all passengers and staff on board.
You know, when I first got on, there's a little intrepidation when I found out, oh, it's a MAX 8. It's like, oh, great. But, you know.
The MAX 8 flight from Los Angeles into St. Louis Lambert International Airport Wednesday afternoon was in flight when that announcement was made.
Not much you could do at that point except grin and bear it, so.
In my opinion, I think public safety is the most important thing, and so to make those kinds of difficult decisions is very hard, but you have to consider the American citizens.
Lambert officials say Southwest is the only airline that operates 737 MAX planes at this airport, with roughly 10 flights total a day.
They operate, as I said, almost 118 average daily aircraft out of here, so the operation should be normal. I mean, the general public should not see any change, should not see any difference, or shouldn't be no changes in security or anything of that nature.
Meanwhile, Boeing released a statement in support of the Federal Aviation Administration and President Trump's decision, saying in part, quote, Boeing has determined out of an abundance of caution and in order to reassure the flying public of the aircraft's safety, to recommend to the FAA the temporary suspension of operations of the entire global fleet of 737 MAX aircrafts. Now, where you are seeing a major impact of all of this is in the stock market. Boeing stock has fallen dramatically, and according to broadcast reports, the 737 MAX was the fastest selling plane in Boeing's history, with over 5,000 orders already made. Live at Lambert Airport, Michelle Madaras, Fox 2 News. Reported sightings of immigration and customs agents around the St. Louis area, and on Cherokee Street in particular, has some worried.
It's a little freak out, you know, for people, you know, this is Cherokee, so they know it's a Latino community here. Hard sometimes to trust, you know, because you don't know.
But just the claims on Facebook, whether to inform or purposely spark fear, can take a toll on local businesses, especially on one of their busiest days.
It affects not only the consumers, but also the workers here, right? So, I mean, and it's bad publicity.
Some say it's not just the undocumented that have this fear, but also those that have immigration designations other than U.S. citizenship.
There's a lot of families here, and when you talk about immigration, it's really complicated, you know, and it's hard. Some people I know, come and do the right thing, but a lot of families come to dream.
Fox 2 reached out to ICE, and a spokesperson released this statement saying, quote, every day ICE makes routine arrests of individuals suspected of violating immigration law. There is no specific operation at the present.
worrying about something or having fear or something is basically gonna keep you captive of doing things. So I know it could be hard, but I think we should try to have less fear.
On Cherokee Street, Michelle Madaras, Fox 2 News. Some businesses here in West St. Louis County are telling me that there's a worker shortage. Now, I talk to a lot of workers out here, and they tell me they're willing to make the long commute, even if that means taking 2 buses and a train to get out here. Now, I spoke to one worker who does just that. And so how long does it take you?
About 2 hours.
Floyd Harris travels 2 hours each way from his home in St. Louis to his job as a dishwasher at the Ellisville Pasta House.
I get on the 90 Hampton at the Lillian and Goodfellow, and I'll get on the train from there, then the bus again. So 2 buses in the train.
But finding workers who are willing to travel or are based in the area can be a struggle.
Definitely have that notion, I guess, within West County that our parents don't want their kids to work or they don't have to work. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I just think it's that time, you know, the time that it takes for the kids after they have school all day and they have their homework to be able to go out and find a job.
Lori Kelling with the West St. Louis County Chamber of Commerce says Greek Kitchen closed down in Ellisville since they couldn't find enough reliable help. Several other businesses voiced similar concerns. Pasta House manager Josh Shepard says recently he had some trouble finding candidates, but he eventually filled those positions.
I know a lot of places around here were having the same kind of problems, and places have been shutting down and stuff like that, but we eventually got it together.
But when a business depends on its employees, and those employees depend on public transportation, there's a lot riding on the line. Let's just say you get out a little late. What happens? What does that mean for you?
I might get stranded.
The West St. Louis County Chamber of Commerce has a list of openings on their website. You can find a link to that in this story on our website. That's fox2now.com. Live in Ellisville, Michelle Madaras, Fox 2 News. The scammer is telling folks to go buy these prepaid gift cards, and he's still on the phone, tells them to read that information, then take them over here to the courts building where they go to a kiosk and they can pay a fine for missing jury duty.
I was just so kind of flabbergasted that I couldn't really process all the information.
That's because someone called Kelly Christensen saying there'd be a warning out for her arrest if she didn't pay a fine for missing jury duty.
He confirmed that he knew who I was and he knew my home address, obviously my work phone number as well.
He asked for 3 prepaid green dot cards, totaling $900.
He wanted me to stay on the phone with him. He wanted me to leave work and go to Walgreens or CVS to get these cards and then drive down to the city, to the courthouse.
The citizens were frightened, they were scared, they were intimidated and angry, wanting to know about where to deliver money, what had happened, how they missed jury duty. And we knew from the start that this was a scam.
St. Louis jury supervisor Joanne Martin says she and the sheriff have gotten around 24 calls about this scam since Tuesday. So she decided to call the number, which has a 314 area code.
One of the things is he knew exactly the room number of our jury office. He also indicated that he was making these calls from the mobile alleviation unit on behalf of Joanne Martin, who is me. And not many people know that I'm the jury supervisor. So that closeness gave me concern.
You will never get a call from a sheriff pertaining to any kind of law, order, or something that you violated in the city of St. Louis. Anything like that would come through a court order, and it would come through the mail or you would be served. But you would never hear by phone from the sheriff himself.
A warning after a close call that could cost you hundreds.
People could fall for this. I feel like I'm pretty smart, but I was halfway there because I was so concerned about having a warrant out for my arrest. I mean, that's not an option in my business. And so it does put fear into you. So it certainly puts people at risk.
The jury supervisor says if you ever miss jury duty, you'll get a postcard in the mail. Now, she says if you ever get a phone call from this person, hang up immediately and call her office. Live downtown, Michelle Madaras, Fox 2 News. Well, here in St. Louis, we have a number of big businesses, and our business incubators are gaining national attention. Now, there's a big need for tech talent, and that continues to grow. That's why places like Launch Code are trying to train these people for these new roles.
Very excited to be here tonight, celebrate a group of people who've done something really remarkable by completing this Coder Girl program.
It's graduation day at Launch Code. Some have spent 6 months, others a year, hoping to pick up a new skill.
Someone who has no background with what IT is or what data analysis is, they started right from the beginning and they taught me everything that's needed.
Vidya Thandra Stetter-Urina joined the Coder Girl program. Her degree was in finance, but she's been a stay-at-home mom for the last decade. Now she has a new job, almost immediately upon graduation.
Gives me the confidence that women can go ahead and face the world and they can probably do everything. You won't be branded as a stay-at-home mom for like 10 years. You can come back, you can learn something, you can go achieve what you want. Nothing is going to stop you.
Students range from age 14 to 60 plus. Some are making a career change. Others are just looking to pick up new skills.
It's an opportunity that is happening for free because we want as many people to be able to take advantage of it as possible. The biggest thing I can tell people is why not? Like, it's free to apply. If you get in, it's free to go through the program. If you don't get in, apply again because like there's nothing to be lost.
Coder Girl program manager Jesse Wilcox says even though the program doesn't earn them a certification or degree, companies say they're still needing more and more people with these skills.
It's the passion, the drive, the curiosity, the ability to learn. I think that is really more what we're looking for in terms of what's going to make a successful employee as opposed to what their background is.
We have an amazing company team that works here at Launch Code who are willing to like go and pound the pavement and like let these companies know, hey, if you want to change the dynamics of the tech workforce here, you need to be willing to hire different. And so that's us getting in their faces like, hey, look, come look here for talent. But then it's also companies who we've established relationships with at this point where they recognize the talent that people can get from here.
Wilcox says about 4 out of 5 students that come through Launch Code land a job, and their average starting salary is about $55,000.
There's definitely competition out there. There's a lot of reputable organizations out there that are going to be looking at the same employment pool that we're looking at, which is why we want to be involved in partnering with Launch Code to make sure that we catch people at the beginning of that career decision.
About 110 people graduated from today's Coder Girl program. If you'd like to learn more about Launch Code, visit our website at fox2now.com. Live in Delmar, Michelle Madaras, Fox 2 News. I reached out to the Granite City Housing Authority yesterday by phone, and when I didn't get a hold of them, I came here to their office. That's where I was told I needed to speak with their attorney. I called that person again today, and up until this point, haven't heard back.
Main concern right now is just having a roof over my head.
But Melissa Saul is in another battle, this one for her life. She has stage 4 breast cancer.
It's a letter basically from my doctor saying that I'm unable to work.
She says the pain is constant.
And this is proof that I do have stage 4.
Doctors give her 6 months to live, but she hopes to fight for more amid another battle she's having with the Granite City Housing Authority.
They wanted the back pay of $4,000 within the next 2 weeks, and that's just impossible for me.
She says she's been trying to get a hold of their office to work out a payment plan, but they wouldn't accept her current rent payments until she paid the outstanding fees.
My options are basically the street. If they don't let me stay here, there is no other low income that I'm aware of housing out there. And I have children.
She says the stress of moving combined with the physical pain is almost too much to handle.
For a disabled person who's worked hard all my life, to be treated that way in a low income housing that the government provides for people like me, and I would not want any other disabled person treated that way ever again.
In Granite City, Michelle Madaras, Fox 2 News. Many of us like to take our dogs on errands, but unfortunately it can get very hot inside your vehicle.
Well, I went and bawled some lady out and told her to get her dog out of her car. She was not happy with me, but you know, it upsets me to see that.
So at temperatures of 72 and above, temperatures within just a few minutes can reach well over 100 degrees.
Now there are a few alternatives, one of which is called Dog Spot. It's a climate-controlled shelter for your pet. So now we're gonna put it to the test and I'll show you how it works. Good boy.
The doghouse itself is fully temperature controlled year-round. It also has a puppy cam inside. It's also auto-sanitizing, so between every single visit, a UVC light sanitizes the environment.
But we wanted to test the temperature inside the house for ourselves, so we brought our own heat gun. But to be fair, we've been opening and closing the door for filming.
It's an electromagnetic lock, and there's backup batteries.
To get your dog out, you just enter your secret code. Then you and your furry friend can walk off into the sunset. And the developer says they hope to have 3 to 5 more locations over the next few months. In Richmond Heights, Michelle Madaras, back to you. Shoppers are already in line. They have their returns ready and their receipts in hand. But it's also a big day for sales. Santa has come and gone.
Exchange your store credit. Have you shopped with us before? It's the best time of year.
But not the holiday sales.
And would you like that receipt with you or in the bag?
If anything, shoppers say they've gotten better.
Have a great day.
40 and 60% off. So a pretty good deal.
'Tis the day after Christmas and all through the mall, the shoppers seeking discounts had an early call.
10 a.m. and it was crazy. Everybody's coming in, flocking at the same time.
Items are hung on their hangers with care as workers prepare for the shoppers they knew would be there.
Come on over. Just make sure we have enough people staffed on the floor and in the store so we can better assist the guests when they come in. We have a lot of managers. All of our managers are actually working today.
With bags full of returns and money to spend, it's on to each store with business to tend.
I had a few gift cards I received yesterday, so trying to spend a little bit of it today. Thought I'd get some good deals.
And he was 60% off and he lights up. Christmas decorations, 50% off. You know, things that bought a new house, gotta fill it.
But if you head out to the store on this cold winter night, don't forget to be polite.
Make sure you have that receipt on you. It's going to make that return process a lot easier for you if you have that receipt.
Maybe still in the Christmas spirit?
Absolutely.
Many stores have extended hours today and they brought in extra staff to help keep the lines moving. In DePere, Michelle Madaras, back to you.